Okay, and trying to uh, spruce up the car a little bit so we can hang on to it for a couple more years. Uh, we recognize that the number one cosmetic issue with the vehicle is these awful headlights. Let's look at what we're working with here. This was given to a vendor to professionally polish about 2 years ago. And for a week or two, it looked pretty good. Then these defects started to rise. I believe that these are, or this trailing edge right here, is the original UV protection, UV protection covering applied to the headlight during the manufacturing process. But it has been chipped away at over time from the sand from off the highway from trucks in front of me, mostly like a sandblaster. And then this is what was highly oxidized plastic where the UV protection had completely worn away. And then it's been covered up again, both on top of what's left over of the original UV protection and the bare plastic. It has been oxidized over and then covered up with a new covering or polish on top of this completely unsanded or prepped surface underneath. It didn't show for a short while, but it came out and showed again. So on this headlight, we're going to have to take it all the way down to plastic that has never been at surface level in any part of the manufacturing process. Go subsurface and take off all of this crud around here and take off the second coating that was put over the unprepped surface and dig it all the way down to metal. And that's what I believe we're going to have to do. My car is 8 or 9 years old, but it's only got 70,000 miles on it, and it's a hoot to drive. So I'm going to try to spiff it up here and hang on to it for a few more years. I have a Meguiar store-bought kit for fixing this, except for it starts at 1,000 grit. I'm going to come in with some 400 grit because I got to take this down straight to original plastic. And then I'll come in with 600, then we'll come in with 1,000. And this is after 400 grit wet sanding. And it is wet, so you can kind of see the lenses through here now, or the interior lights. It's quite hazy yet. Let's dry it up. And this is dry. If I didn't already know how it's going to turn out or have a pretty good idea, it scared me to death, because you can definitely see the scratches in this plastic. Simple polycarbonate with a 400 grit sandpaper is going to really scuff it up. It looks kind of terrible right now, but it's going to get a lot better. Hey, this is after the 600 grit. When I did the 400 grit to take off the really nasty stuff, I went horizontally and mostly stuck with that. You don't have to worry about missing a whole lot. We're using a hard sandpaper on mere plastic. You're going to fairly easily get all the junk off. But we had to take it down to original unexposed plastic with that 400. So when I came in with the 600, I mostly just erased the vertical stripes from, or the horizontal stripes from going back and forth on the plastic until I just started seeing some vertical striping from the 600 grit. At that point, I just went around in real quick light circles until I blended the vertical and horizontal stripes together. It's mostly just scuffed out right now, but I'm still going to go a 1,000 grit and a 3,000 grit before I even start the polishing. At this point, I'm starting with the standard or the heavy-duty Meguiar's restoration kit, and this is their 1,000 grit synthetic pad, and it's actually very compliant, and it
conforms to the contours in the windshield or the headlight, and then I'll do the same thing with their 3000 pad. You can barely feel it. It's almost more like polishing than it is any kind of sanding. And then we'll come in with their Plastic X, and I think I'm going to stop with that kit and come in with a clear coat spray paint over the top of it rather than this. I'm not sure yet. Okay, having finished the 1000 grit, I don't really see a lot of scuffing at all left over from the 400 or the 600. This pretty much took it out. I didn't concentrate on getting every scrap of it out because I still have a grit containing polish as a near the end process, but before that I still have a 3000 grit, and that will certainly get it all the way down. When this was wet with water, yes, I'm wet sanding it, the headlights or the interior actual lights were starting to peek through really nicely, give me a bit of an indicator as to what it's going to look like after it's buffed out. And this is after the 3000 grit. I left it wet so you can see that it's quite literally polished looking the way it is. A lot of people are not going up to the 3000. I'm going to hand it to Meguiar's for including a 3000 grit pad because I was still taking material off the plastic with that fine of a disc. And I would rather polish all the way down to the 3000 or up to the 3000 grit rather than wonder if the polish is just covering up or if it's actually a finishing touch to smoothen out this. Right now, to the feel, the plastic is quite smooth. Alright, after we dry this up and dust it off a little bit, we're going in with the polishing. And this is the headlight, an hour and a half later. Is that something else or what? I haven't put the protectorant on there yet. I'm going to compare the ingredients between that and the spray-on clear coat. I think they're probably the same thing. In which case, the protectorant from the Meguiar's kit will be a lot easier to apply. Look at there. Right. I chose to use the kit because it's just a wipe-on instead of spray, so I didn't have to tape off the whole car. But I believe the ingredients are, even though I lost the instruction manual, I believe that the ingredients are the same, basically the same, doing the same thing as the spray. Anyway, the motorcycle happens to be parked in close proximity to the car. And here's a testament to that 300 grit. Now, couple years ago I rode through a redout in Monument Valley in the Navajo Nation where an absolutely blinding sandstorm etched the windshield on my motorcycle. In Monument Valley, I never saw a monument through. That's just exactly how bad it was. Anyway, I decided to since I got a crack in here, I need a new windshield, but I decided to try to see if I could take that etching out. I used the 300 grit pad and etched this. Now there's a testament to the 300 grit pad because it did more etching than the sandstorm did. So hopefully it'll polish out and we'll be getting a new windshield today. We'll see. Okay, well the jury is still out as to whether you should use headlight restoration products on a Lexan motorcycle windshield. As I said, I only prepped it with 300 grit pad that came with the Meguiar's kit, but it did more etching than the sandstorm and the Navajo Nation did to the windshield. But when I came in with a buffing wheel and the polish, it took out a few scratches that were in this windshield that I didn't have before. have to forgive some of the mucky look. It's electrostatic attraction is pulling dust out of the air and putting splotches on it right now, but in all reality it's pretty nice looking. So we'll wait for a few days and see if it's actually just putting lipstick on a pig, or if we did some real work trying to get this, or actually real work clearing up some of the sandstorm damage on the windshield.